Just a fun thought here. So narcissism. Narcissism is an interesting sort of disposition to have. It's sort of like, it's not, it's like, what people think of like narcissism, they love themselves so much, but what they really love is not so much the self. It's this false image of self that they've created, and it's all about an image and a narrative, and a narrative that is repeated over and over about themselves, and sort of ignoring everything else that doesn't sort of match that narrative. So it's not love of self, it's love of false self. So, the narcissist is sort of, and since the false self doesn't exist, the pithy sort of thing that I came up with was that being a narcissist is sort of like being addicted to a drug that doesn't exist. So they always have the craving for this, thing, and to aggrandize this thing, but it's it's only in the imagination, and so it's like a never-ending hunger that is insatiable. And so I would imagine that there's a suffering involved, a tremendous suffering involved with a narcissist, a narcissistic disposition. But I don't know. It's interesting because narcissists, when interviewed, often view their maladaptive behavior as actually, from their point of view, it's adaptive. Like somehow it's like a, it's like they're proud of having this unshakable, you could call it confidence, but is it really? It's confidence in things that are not grounded in reality is sort of like being confident that it's, that it's like raining when the sun is out, so like, is that really confidence, or is that, is it delusional? Is there, I don't know. I can only speculate on what the actual experience would be like. But, my suspicion is there's some sort of suffering and never-ending hunger for something that doesn't really exist. So being a narcissist, I think, is like being addicted to a drug that doesn't actually exist. Anyhow, I'll leave it here.